Hey friends, today I want to talk about self-care, some things that I've personally realized recently about it, what it is, what it isn't, and how we tend to overcomplicate things. Um, Today's message is inspired by my table of houseplants that are dying because I haven't been home in a while and I didn't water them. I didn't make it a priority to get them watered. So I'm not surprised that they're dying, right? That makes sense. Actually, when you don't water plants, they die. And I started kind of thinking about myself and how here I am yet again in this stage of kind of burnout, depletion. And as I've been staring out my window, I'm asking myself, well, if I'm being honest, have I been watering myself? Hmm. Maybe not. Maybe not like I thought that I was, right? Maybe not prioritizing myself and my needs, not entirely being sure what those are just yet in certain situations. I feel like I'm doing a really good job finding that balance between taking radical responsibility, right, for my life and my choices and my current state of being. But I'm also not beating myself up about it. I'm really proud of myself for finding this happy medium place that also incorporates some grace for my humanness, for my shifting energy levels, right? And just lately asking myself, what does it mean for me to be watering myself, right? To be thriving, kind of cause and effect, choices and consequences. I think we tend to think of self-care in this way of it's luxurious bubble baths and chocolates and spa dates and vacations and all of these things almost as if they're a luxury, right? That we don't always have the time or the money for. And that's not really true. Self-care is actually the choices you make on a daily basis to decide to show up for yourself and take care of yourself, to create a life that supports you in your well-being, your mental, physical, emotional health, right? Kind of looking at yourself, learning to take care of yourself the way that you would a child that is in your care, right? You make sure that they have what they need in order to thrive, in order to feel safe, especially nervous system stuff, right? Being regulated is self-care. Learning your feelings, learning how to navigate your inner world and to advocate for yourself in a way in your relationships and your environments in a way that you feel safe and comfortable. You're not shrinking yourself, right? So self-care is actually a necessity, and it's in the small choices we make every single day. It's really actually in our habits and in our routines. Self-care is your daily actions, not some frivolous, I don't know. You know what I mean? I hope you understand. Just learning to prioritize yourself in a way that I don't think is promoted, particularly for women. Um, we almost put the idea of struggling and self-sacrifice up on some pedestal as if it's something we should be striving for. And if we're not, then we're not trying hard enough. Our wellness, particularly our mental health and emotional health, aren't always being taken into consideration in the ways in which I think that they should, and the ways in which I've learned are incredibly important to feel safe and grounded, both in my body and in my life. Yeah. The good news is I'm so happy. I watered my spider plant and I really thought like she was a goner. And she's coming back to life. And I'm so proud of her. And I thought to myself, like, how freaking cool, like, that it wasn't too late. It just makes me think of like, I'm in a really tough spot right now for various reasons where I'm just like, how did I get here again? Right? Just feeling so, like I said, like depleted and just like a little bit frustrated with myself and, trying to unpack exactly what happened and how I got here. But I'm like, it's never too late to just like water yourself again. It's never too late to learn how to show up for yourself better. And if I'm being honest, I know in my heart, as frustrating as it is to like right back on the spiral and this healing journey, to like feel like you're going backwards to something, some pattern of yours. You're not actually going backwards, because I know in my heart that I'm doing it a lot better this time, that I caught myself faster this time, that there's growth, there's progress. And just because I didn't do it perfectly, or just because I never got burnt out again, doesn't mean that I'm not learning and growing and doing better. It just means I'm human. And I still have patterns that I'm working through, subconscious patterns, man, they are tricky. Like, you can think you're so healed, honestly. And then all of a sudden you're reassessing yourself and you're like, well, there it is. There it was. Um, and it's just like, what are you going to do? You caught yourself, right? You didn't keep going. Catching yourself is a success. It's not necessarily a failure that maybe you slipped back into an old pattern, you got sucked back into that groove. Some of these things are so ingrained in us, by the way, in our brains, like our neural pathways and things like that. That's all your subconscious mind. You're not always going to get it on the first try or the second try or the 10th try, but you will notice that you catch yourself faster and that you're able to course correct. Being able to course correct yourself, that is a success. That's the real growth, is like actively catching yourself in something that would have like completely like, I don't know, taken you all the way off course, right? In the past. I don't know. Side note. So yeah, self-care is a necessity, not a luxury. Okay. I really want us to like ingrain this and start like asking yourself, how do you water yourself on a daily basis? How are you nurturing yourself so that you don't get depleted? How are you taking care of yourself and showing up for yourself? Because generally by the time we hit this place, right, where we're doing all of these assessments and you're taking extra rest and you're treating yourself as if you're like have like a physical ailment, right? That's all like, that's great and all, right? But if we're being honest, that's actually aftercare. The things that I used to do that I thought were self-care once upon a time, that I would finally hit the wall and that would force me into some sort of timeout, that's actually aftercare. Just let that sink in for a second. The good news is once you start learning to tune into your body, into your inner world, start to learn these inner signals, both like your feelings and like your needs and things like that, as you start to learn these things about yourself, you'll start to learn the warning signs, right? of when you're starting to like about to hit that wall phase, you'll be able to kind of like reel in your self-care activities and kind of like pump the brakes a little bit. You'll be able to like take better care of yourself on the regular so that you don't have to take these huge timeouts by the time you've like completely hit that wall and you're in aftercare mode. I hope that makes sense. I have a friend that often also gets frustrated when we like have a similar thing going where we hit these stages and we're just like, now we're like in timeout by the universe, right? I can't do all of the things that I want to do, and you don't have the energy and just all of that. But the more you learn to take care of yourself on the regular, the less you'll be put in timeout. So take care of yourself after the fact. So learn to water yourself. We are just like sophisticated houseplants. We are resilient, like my beautiful little spider plant. Honestly, like I turned into a crazy plant lady. I think it was last year. Um, Something about having all of my little plant babies. I'm going to plant some new ones too. I got some new succulents that it's time to get them in their pots. And then I'm going to watch them grow and just like bloom and just like do their thing. And I feel like it's like this like whole new era for me as well. As I watch them grow, I'm going to be learning to take better care of myself, just little bits at a time. And I'm really excited to nurture and also grow right alongside all of my new little babies here. So that was a little babbly, but self-care, learn to water yourself, learn to take care of yourself. You deserve it. It's going to make life feel so much easier, even when you're in really tough spots. You've got to learn to show up for yourself. You deserve it. It's not a luxury. It's a necessity. Until next time, bye.